So after hearing Krishna's discussion on Jnana karma-sanyasa yoga, Arjuna is still confused. He's not sure. Could he just renounce everything, forget about this actions, and become a sannyasi? That's when Krishna gives a very surprising answer. Many philosophical traditions and spiritual traditions seem to suggest the best way to eternal peace is by denouncing or renouncing all actions and possessions. Krishna in chapter 5 is very emphatic about some other way of doing it. Karma-sanyasa yoga. So, Bhagavad Gita explains in chapter 5 that renunciation is not necessarily physical or material. Renunciation is more mental. So, a person could be sitting in a cave away from everything else in the world, but still be thinking about desires. That's not renunciation, is what Krishna is arguing here. On the other hand, somebody might be doing all their duties pretty earnestly, having a family, caring for the family, but at the same time, not attached. The message is renunciation is not withdrawing from actions, but it is withdrawing from the results of those actions, the outcomes of those actions. Brahmani adhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karotiyah papena padmapyatena sa ivhambasa. The dewdrop on a lotus leaf analogy here, padmapatram. There are two ways to look at it, in my opinion. One is, if you look at, if you remember seeing a dewdrop on a lotus leaf, it's never attached to it. A small movement in the lotus leaf, you can see the dewdrop moving around. So the analogy is saying that live like that dewdrop on that lotus leaf. Live, but not attached to the surroundings. The same thing could be also said about the lotus leaf itself. Lotus leaf always floats on top of the water. Our lives could be like that. Don't get deeper into the quagmire. Another analogy in this chapter 5 is fascinating. Bhagavad Gita compares our body to a city with 9 gates. We have openings, eyes, ears, nose and mouth, and other openings through which information is constantly entering. Some information leave. When you first hear it, this seems like a simple metaphor. But if you think deeper, if you think of a city, many things enter the city, many bad things sometimes, enemies, diseases, conflicts. In a similar way, through the openings of our body and through our senses, enter desire, temptations, anger, greed, jealousy. So the city is never completely secure. There is constant bombardment and constant vulnerability to destruction. But at the same time, the same doors to the city, the gates to the city, may choose to let in information, knowledge, opportunities, friendship, love, beauty, wisdom from a guru, perhaps. So, those type of things, if they enter, the city would flourish. The idea is, therefore, not to close the doors permanently. The city would collapse if that is done. Krishna is bringing this city of 9 gates as an extension of the same idea. So the idea is, in chapter 5, the wisdom that is being imparted is that we all should be good mayors of the city. You cannot shut the doors completely, so things will enter. What you keep inside is important. In other words, some of the things you have to purge. You have to let go. It's the lesson that I'm learning from reading chapter 5. One of the most conflicting dilemma is, if I am to be detached to the outcomes, does it mean that I should not have any pleasures? So Krishna brings in discussion about that. He says, pleasures are not inherently bad. Desires are important for progress. But understanding that pleasures are temporary is important, is what he's saying. The moment we desire sometimes for to buy something, a brand new car, for instance. The moment we have had possession of that car, the pleasure starts dissipating, just like the price of the car depreciates. It's probably steeper exponential decay. Achievements are exactly like that too. They give us a lot of pleasure, but over time it's just a faded memory. Success, that's the same thing. So any pleasure that depends on external things is going to be fleeting. So Krishna is saying, find something more stable, something that is longer lasting. For that, he suggests that it is better to look for pleasure within, not based on external sources. So essentially, material pleasures are all useless in that sense. They are going to be temporary. But not having them is not what is being suggested here. Know that they are temporary. So you constantly look for something deeper from within. Krishna is underscoring that desire in itself is not something you need to avoid. Controlling the desire is what you need to master. Desires, when fulfilled, are not fulfilled, there are emotions. So Krishna talks about that in this chapter. It's controlling those emotions that's important. Anger, jealousy are part of this desire. Desire is important for progress, but these emotions that are coupled with those desires are the things that you need to control. You need to target, is what he's suggesting here. He brings in the balance in duality that is a recurring theme in the Bhagavad Gita. So he talks about having balance between success and failure. Of course, in this world, nothing is dichotomous. Everything is on a continuum. Nevertheless, there is a threshold for all of us. On this continuum, when we reach a threshold, we feel that that's success, the rest is failure. And that threshold may be different for different individuals. Nevertheless, it's easier to understand with that dichotomy. In that dichotomy, disappointments and fulfillments, success and failure and all that, have balance emotionally, is what is being stressed in this chapter. That then extends to everything living in this world as well. Meaning, do not see differences in individuals. No discrimination. It is said many thousands of years ago. There is human tendency to be prejudiced. If we all look the same, still we will find something that is different to discriminate. If I live in a world of my clones, I'll start seeing differences. There will be minute changes due to the environment, and that is good enough for me to discriminate. Most of us don't understand that, because we have a society where some differences are more apparent than others. When the apparent differences are reduced, the other differences will become prominent. So Krishna's statement several thousands of years ago that you must see all living things as equal is profound. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavi astini shuni chaiva shwapakecha pandita sama darshinaha. Dogs and pundits, everybody is the same. Dogs and pundits, it's all the same. So how does one achieve this balance he's talking about? Meaning renouncing the attachment to the outcomes while living in this society with desires, wants, and needs. The modern Western recommendation is mindfulness. Basically, Bhagavad Gita said this several thousand years ago. Meditation, pranayama, self-reflection, moderation, not austerity, moderation, discipline, and awareness. These are the things that are recommended in chapter 5 to use as tools to control the attachment to the outcomes of our actions. these things mentioned, meditation, pranayama, and all that, self-awareness, discipline, all that is not going to be coming to us overnight, obviously. So it takes years of practice. Earlier start is better, therefore. One can achieve at any time in life the mastery over these things. But earlier the better. Again, I say it as though I have achieved it. Obviously, that is not the case. But the attempt is there. The intent is there. So, in short, chapter 5 is saying true renunciation is not abandoning action, but abandoning attachment, which will allow us to live responsibly, wisely, and peacefully in this world. Let us see whether Arjuna is now convinced.